And there we go. All right, this is our first episode of the Swiss Miss Gaming Podcast.
Yeah.
Episode 1, A Tacky Start. So, it's a great name, right?
I think so.
So, today's episode, we're going to look at the new releases coming out. We're going to talk about TAC, and we're going to introduce ourselves. And who knows where this will go. Because we sure don't.
It'll ramble for sure.
That's for sure. So, I'm Carl. I've been playing Infinity for about 3 years now. Mostly play Pano. Sort of. I don't know. I play everything. I have ADD, basically. So, Pano, Ariadna, Combined Army, bought into Aleph, O12. Pick a thing, I probably have something with it.
You forgot Nomads.
I did forget Nomads.
Ooh.
I do play Tunguska and Foreign Company.
Okay.
NA2.
fair.
I mean, I bought the Foreign Company box. I have Kaplan's. I have no other
alright.
place to use Kaplan's, so I'm in Foreign Company.
I thought you could use Kaplan's in like one of the Pano factions. Sectorials, sorry.
No, only if Mercs are enabled, and even then, maybe. I don't think so.
Okay, gotcha.
I also don't think you would.
Yeah. All right, I am Bruce. I got into Infinity, in like October, but it spiraled quickly. So I have Ariadna, Pano, Yuching. I'm starting JSA for now. I'll probably buy every faction.
And
'cause
soon
it's-
Corgador. When they get their Corgador box.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad.
So I'm John. I've been playing since I want to say either late 2015, early 2016, and then I took a long break. I just kind of fell out of playing it, even though I would weirdly refer to Infinity as my favorite game for that entire time while playing inferior games. And then once
Which
Carl-
inferior games?
I'm not gonna name them, but they rhyme with Schmorhammer, Schmordecay. So once I got sick of that again, I found out that Carl and Bruce were playing Infinity again. I got excited. So I'm mostly an Ariadna player, but I have since bitten the addiction bullet on Onyx Contact Force. I guess Vanilla combined because I own an Avatar now.
Fuck that model.
I own a disproportionate amount of Shasvasti compared to how not much interest I have in them, but here we
Defiance
are.
will do that.
Yeah, Defiance did that to me, and then I just bought a ton of stuff.
Well, you may as well complete it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So at some point, one of these days, I'll play Shasvasti. Nomads, I was playing Corregidor until all of a sudden I memed my way into Tunguska. And O12! So, yeah.
Cool. So I guess we'll move into our next little bit. Let's talk about the new releases that are coming out. So these are the February new releases, not the new releases that were just announced today. But let's just take a look at what we have.
Yeah.
We have the expansion pack, Train. Seems pretty cool.
It's nice that they get an objective room in there.
Yeah, the objective room is super nice for new players.
I'm digging it. I mean, you got that little tower, you've got staircases and a little bridge thing. I mean, I don't think the display picture really...
Yeah, the picture should be better. This is not very exciting, but I think this is a really useful set.
But yeah, the content is exciting. It's incredible. Does it come with the mat? Do you know?
Yeah, it should.
I think it does, but
Okay.
I think the mats...
The-
They're that weird shape.
Okay.
They're
Which
the
I
24
really-
by 32, and
I really wonder
wish-
why they do that.
I wish they made them just 24 by 24, and just let us get 4 of the mats, stick them together,
Yeah.
and then Joe New Player can have buying a couple of these sets doesn't have to buy a mat immediately. I know you can play smaller games on the different table sizes, and the table sizes actually fit with these. If
Okay.
you look at the 200
Fair
and
enough.
150 point games, they kind of scale with this. But for us, for most people, you quickly outgrow those table sizes.
I
and-
mean, think about it. Just with like the single starter box and then the Beyond box, you have a full 300 point list. It might not be the most optimized list.
depends on the army. I think O12 or Pano comes a little short.
Yeah, maybe, but like still, you're in that.
You're close. You're in the range.
already.
You buy
Yeah.
a support box or drone bot, and
Yeah.
you're there. So that's my only complaint. I like this set. I'll probably get one, even though I have better terrain. Air quote better terrain.
It's nice though. I mean, it's nice to have options.
It's
cheap.
nice. It's cheap.
It's like air quotes pre-painted.
Yep.
It looks good. It looks incredible for what it is. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I mix it with my MDF, and I'm pretty satisfied.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
especially for a game that's so terrain heavy as Infinity, it's nice that you can get cheap,
The price point is right.
durable. I mean that card stock is incredible. I
It's
have
amazing.
The Ice Storm cardboard buildings that could barely hold 2 models.
Even when you stick a box inside of it, it's
yeah,
Eh.
this is seriously such a pleasure.
yeah, it's a pain to build.
Right.
But other than that, it's great. Hopefully, I think they have 2 different sides too, right?
Yes, they should.
A lot of the other sets were double sided, so
Yeah.
you buy 2 of them and good to go.
That's
I don't know
exciting.
about this with all the bridges and
It
stuff.
says this is a double-sided
There you go.
Oh,
buy,
okay.
3mm printed cardboard scenery pack.
buy 2 of these. Good to go. All right, O12
I like the models
This is the booster pack beta.
with no beta trooper.
with no beta
Yeah,
troopers.
no betas, which is
Stupid. Missed opportunity, Corvus Belly. You can call us. You know, we'll go on commission. We can give you these good ideas.
especially because I don't think there's any way to get a beta trooper outside of the
Nope.
expansion. Is that where they came from?
I think they were in the Beyond,
The Beyond. Okay.
which you
yeah,
wouldn't
okay.
want to buy more than one of, because then you get more Cuervos.
Right. And they're deltas. I don't know. It's rough.
So this comes with Cho, who is, if you own O12, you need to own Cho. Although, hilariously, you don't actually need to own the Cho model,
Right.
because she's going to spend most of her existence not appearing to be Cho.
And then you got 2 other models who Cho could pretend to be.
Yeah, that's true. She could always pretend to be this Crusher. So we get Hippolyta, which is great. It always sucked that she was in that limited, like, first run O12 starter pack.
I think that model looks insane too. Just like the level of detail on that, like the paint job really does that model justice.
Oh, she looks sweet.
Yeah, she does look good.
I like this sculpt more than the limited edition one.
You know, honestly, I do too.
Tactical rocks, people complain, but at least it's not a Ariadne rock.
It's tactical techno garbage. To be fair.
But yeah, no, she's sweet looking. I wonder how many more Aleph models are going to get packed with O12. Because,
I feel like, okay, so there's going to be a David bot for the Raptors, right?
yeah.
And then, I don't know what else.
I think the biggest disappointment is probably the Crusher.
Yeah.
The model's okay.
I love that sculpt. I love how
Yeah.
active it is. It looks super sweet, but yeah, I can understand what you guys are coming from as O12 players.
The big problem, we already have 2 Crushers.
Right. Also, I have a question. Why is the Crusher standing on the rock like that? It's a weird thing. I would avoid that rock.
It's like a starting block.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Oh, it looks sweet.
I mean, oh, okay, fine, whatever. But I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's a weird... Nobody woke up in the morning thinking, man, I need another Crusher.
That's fair.
Do
enough.
Crushers have like super jump or something like that? Or
No.
No, so there's 2 different kinds. There's the combat dropping
Right.
parachuting Crushers. That's...
God, fuck them.
yeah. No, they're awesome. And then there's, I think, are they forward deploying
Yeah, they've got a forward deploying.
in a combat jump?
Yeah.
So this gives you all 3 types of Crushers that you could have.
Nice.
So that's nice. You know, there's not going to be a separate Crusher box that you have to buy or anything. But this isn't high on people's priority list
For sure,
what O12
for
is.
sure.
It's just weird that like I can't run a Cyber Ghost official model right now. I don't know what a Cyber Ghost looks like, but I know what every single profile of a Crusher looks like.
Or like a Beta Trooper.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to run that Starmada core with a Beta Trooper and Hector?
2 Beta Troopers and I'm screwed.
Like, yeah. Looks good, though.
But okay, I'm looking at the profile right now. There's 2 different SMG profiles for Crushers. So
One-
I guess that is 1/2 of all available Crusher profiles.
Well, because one of is a combat dropper. The boarding shotgun, there's a boarding shotgun combat dropper, and it
Yeah.
has it has the wing things.
Yeah, that's in the Starmada box, and I
Yep.
think the other one's the multi-rifle, right?
Yep.
Okay, and then yeah, now they've rounded out, and you've got the
SMG. So now you got everything, basically.
yeah. No, that's fair enough.
All right, let's move on to probably the most complained about box. We have the Combined Army Booster Pack Beta with Kodali with multi-rifle, Victor Messer with a pistol, sure, and Norkius Hacker.
Okay, I'll say this as an Onyx Contact Force player. I already bought the what is it, Betrayal expansion. Got a cooler Norkius, got a cooler Kodali, and Victor Messer has yet to impress me with his profile.
He's in Defiance as well.
Right, yeah. So I'm already obligated to that. I don't know. I don't want to be a bummer, but like I'm just not impressed.
Yeah, I am glad that they're releasing limited edition models.
Okay.
It says that you can buy,
Yeah.
right? Because I mean, it sucks to get a Wild Bill or an Ada Swanson before, some of these things.
Okay.
So we complained about this a lot. Now they gave it to us. Now we're complaining that they're not giving us new fun stuff, right?
Fair enough.
But this is one of those. If you are new to Infinity and you don't have any of these models, I think you should pick it up. If you're playing Onyx, Contact Force, or Vanilla combined, Norkius is great.
Norkius is amazing.
He's amazing.
Sweet model too.
I like this model. I do think the other one, the limited edition one, is
obviously,
cooler.
but
But
I'll say this much though, Norkius, the original air quotes their model, is crouching over a dead Kaplan or something, so it's hard to kind of visualize line of sight. I mean, I think this pose would be a little bit taller than Silhouette 2, but as opposed to being like crouched over to almost Silhouette 1, maybe it's easier to visualize, or if you like that kind of exposed sculpt, I guess, that's pretty cool.
Kodali looks really weird without her jump.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of people thought this was Ada Swanson,
I thought so too.
but it is not. This is Kodali without her jump track, and it's kind of weird.
Okay, here's what I don't get about this one though. Kodali's already available as an individual blister.
In jump form.
Right, but who
Needs this?
was like, no, I'm using Kodali Fire Team option and the jump pack bothers me.
Not me.
I need her on a tactical column.
Yeah, so I think John and I are on the same page. We're not going to be buying this. And I don't own a Norkius, but I own a Kodali. I will own when Defiance ships, finally.
Yeah.
I will own Victor. I don't even know if I'll ever play him, but
all the models are cool. But like, you
Yeah,
guys
right.
are already have your stuff figured out for combined, and I hope that combined won't get me for like another year or so.
I'll give you 6 months.
they're so cool.
They're really cool.
All right, Uxia.
So much better.
I think we have a lot of opinions on this.
So much better.
I will own 4 Uxias. I don't care.
This model is just amazing, and the paint job, the studio paint job, is unreal, as always, basically.
Also, too, she fits on her goddamn base. Like, that's such a big goddamn issue. This is like her shitty old one where it's like, I'm tactical, I'm posing for the cameras with her akimbo pistols. Like, no, fit on the goddamn base. How hard is that?
Yeah, this is such a step up. I love this
Oh.
stuff.
This is got to be a 10 out of 10,
Yeah.
honestly.
Absolutely. I'm buying it just because I love it.
I simp for Uxia as a piece in Infinity.
Yes.
No, this model's great. This is the kind of model that'll get somebody into Infinity.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, honestly, like, okay, I've got the Defiance version coming, right? But if you didn't get Defiance, and listen, I'm thrilled to own that one too. Her sitting on the box is incredible.
Yeah, that's sick.
But also, I do just want to own this.
Yeah, just
So good.
What a cool model.
Does that shotgun have a mag in it?
looks
Nice.
like it. Yeah,
Nice.
It's a boring shotgun.
yeah.
I don't know what
She's
that means.
she's in Cosmoflot now. They've upgraded her gear,
Oh,
That's why
God,
she's
Cosmo.
wearing blue camo.
and that's why she's playing around in grass.
Yeah.
It's ship grass
Ship
to
grass.
make air.
Naga Hacker. I'm the only one here that is at all interested in Aleph, I think,
For now.
for now, this week.
Yeah.
This model's okay.
I mean, okay, did they need it?
Kind of.
Okay.
Not as
hey,
much as they needed other models, but
That's fair.
it's a cool model. It can work as a lot of different models too, I would say.
I mean, it's a cool sculpt. And if that profile didn't exist already, good for them.
Yeah. This is kind of one of the mehest, single blisters coming out. It's fine. If you play Aleph, you might get it.
Can you take a Naga and anything else? Like,
You might be able to in Pano.
was it Akon Smanto or whatever?
Yeah, I
I
think
remember you, playing against that.
I think it might be Akon. let's take a look. Yeah, Nagas
Yep.
can be in Akon,
Okay, cool.
which is a squatted sectorial, so, you know.
Yeah. Fair enough.
They also get Dart, which is pretty cool.
Dart's also in military orders.
Yeah, Dart's and militaries. That's why I
Oh.
bought Dart, and then I decided I like Aleph. Before I even built her.
Oh god.
So yeah, Naga's fine. And then we have Ada. I'm very glad they finally released a blister for Ada. It's kind of too late for me because I have Defiance, so I'll be getting her in Defiance.
I got 2 Adas.
So I played a lot of NCA, Pano NCA, and she's like one of the only models I don't own that can be in that sectorial.
God fucking NCA.
Because she's impossible to get a hold of.
You know, I'm just amazed at when you look at her profile on the store page, how many factions she's available for. It is Pano, Yujing,
Yep.
Ariadna, Hakislam, Nomads, Combined Army, Aleph, Toha, and NA2. I
Yeah.
mean, what faction isn't she? O12.
O12.
She's not an O12.
Yep.
Okay, but she works for Aleph and the Combined Army.
So she was one of those, kind of like the Monstruckers, kind of like some of these other mercs that come out where they release, like Wild Bill,
Right.
where they come out and they work for almost every faction.
Okay.
That was kind of her deal. She is a Shazvasti. She has the Shazvasti special rule, which is fun when you're like
Right.
looking through your Pano army list and you're like, wait, what? What are you? You know, when you're not aware of her. Because she's not very common. You probably don't hear about her that often. The sculpt's okay. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I'm not sure I'm thrilled with the paint scheme, which with the weird.
She has a
red
cube?
face paint.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think most of the Shazvasti have cubes.
I don't know enough about Shaw's.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, they have these weird faces when they're like Shazvasti things.
Like a
Yeah,
weird
Shaw's has cubes.
updo.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, how do you guys not know that she's not entirely human?
You just don't care.
Yeah, maybe you just desensitized to that.
She
point.
has that +1 burst submachine gun. I don't
Okay,
give a
hold on.
shit.
This is a universe where nomads exist, and you gotta come to terms with the fact that some crocodile dude is normal, some cat girl is actually a doctor. I mean,
Or a cop. An undercover cop.
Yeah, a furry robot
With little
deviant
chimera
is
things.
a cop. Yeah. So you know what? Maybe okay.
Maybe it's me that's wrong.
There's dog warriors. I mean, in hindsight, you know what? Maybe she's normal.
You know what? That's fair. I'm glad this exists, though.
It's a great
Yes.
sculpt.
It's a cool sculpt, and she's available in so many armies and has been so wildly unavailable for so long that it's great. She's definitely not something you should pick up. You know, if you're starting Infinity and you're like, oh, I play vanilla nomads. Like, do I get her? I don't know. She's kind of weird.
I feel like I just say sure if you like her.
If you like the model, great. She
Yeah.
does things. She's fine, but you know, it's cool. I'm glad she's available. All right, I think we're going to move into our next segment where we talk about TAC. Bruce, would you like to discuss some of your highlights in TAC?
The Kazakh Spetsnaz are absolutely amazing. You have Parachutist or Decoy, and that surprise attack HMG,
It's gross.
disgusting. The boarding shotgun Parachutist, absolutely everything I dream of.
Yeah, the key things here is the marksmanship.
Oh,
So
yeah.
amazing.
You know, BS-12, you look at that, you're like, oh, okay, you know, it's a
But
Fusilier. Then you, wait a minute, marksmanship, wait a minute, mimetism, wait a minute, surprise
Surprise
attack.
Yep.
You know, suddenly you're putting things on -9 or -12, and that feels bad. Also shock.
And I
I feel
think
like the 3 models that applies to.
Fair.
also too, just Strelux really jump out, at least to all of us.
Yeah, I think we all very much like Strelux. Again, camo, decoy, mimetism, forward deployment is great on them. And then just, honestly, all of their profiles are interesting.
Yeah.
They all have merits.
I'm not a super huge fan of the marksman rifle stuff.
Me either. I've been thinking that.
You know, the AP marksman rifle, though, is not bad. For 25 points.
sure. But like compare that to the forward observer boarding shotgun,
Yeah.
or the forward or the mine layer. Like you're gonna get more utility out of that with their forward deployment.
It's our local antipode demanding pets. So I think John has a few profiles he'd like to talk about. Probably the Dynamo.
Oh my god. Okay, I was not super impressed with the Dynamo last edition, but then suddenly this edition they're cheaper. Impetuous is like not bad on a motorcycle because you're already not getting cover. But those mine layers. I mean, okay, so TAC is already a faction where you want to put down a nightmare scape of mines, and then you have this 15-point plus model that is good at a lot of things. You got a Panzerfaust, you got an SMG. You're a BS-12, so you are like the crack shot of Rodina. And then you can just poop mines all over the board at that point. It's incredible. I mean, how do you not love that? And then you can get a paramedic with a boarding shotgun. You can get a forward observer. In the AP Spitfire, I love every profile that the Dynamos have.
And the other interesting thing that doesn't come up too often, but you have it, smoke grenade launchers.
Yeah,
In a
that's fair.
pinch, right? If you've lost your other access to smoke and they're hanging around in a group, if you really need that smoke, it's unreliable.
Yeah.
BS-12 though,
But BS-12, you got like a 60% chance of...
you know?
Yeah.
Doing something.
So, they can smoke dodge at the same rate as their regular dodge.
That's a good point.
That's pretty cool.
Most lists I've been building, ironically not what we're going to talk about later, but most lists I've been building involve a Dynamo or two.
Is there any other profiles that you absolutely love?
You mean aside from the Anasota Assault Pack, or...
Yeah, let's
Is
talk.
that Kozak too?
That Cossack is insane.
Let's talk about the Antipode Assault Pack because
Oh.
I think all of us here absolutely love these. Well,
Yeah.
hate when we're against them.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, terrifying.
So, John, I think you're the most well versed in them.
So, I mean, okay, so you pay, what,
7 points.
7
total.
points for 2 orders, one of which you're always going to be using on them, right? But then you've got 15 points of Antipodes that just run up the table. They're fast, and they dodge well. They are camouflaged. They have mimetism. They have sensor. I do not understand, what they can't do besides shoot. But, they just do so much for you. And at the end of the day, for 5 points a model, they're disposable, too. You can run one through a minefield. And for 15 points, you can point at anything from a tag to some other obnoxious model and just go eat it. You've got the orders to do it. You've got the speed. The camouflage protects you. One antipode will get through.
Even if it doesn't kill it, locking up a tag in close
Yep.
combat
Oh.
can be good enough, right?
One other thing I'd just like to mention that I'm simping for hard is that in TAC alone, they are AVA 2. You can double the bullshit that is Antipode Assault Packs.
I also think something to point out too is sensor is a super handy skill to have.
Yep.
And when all 3 of them can sensor in one order,
Yep.
that is a huge area
Oh, discovering everything within 8 inches of all 3 models.
on 19s.
On 19s. Yep.
Oh, that hidden deployment ninja got to reveal itself now, right?
What?
Yep.
And then the second that thing's revealed, it gets eaten.
I wouldn't do that.
So, no, these guys are great. I think Vet Cossacks are something I like to talk about. So, I started with Pano. Technically, I started with Ariadne, and Vet Cossack was one of my first models, but I never played a game with them before I played Pano. And this model he is just so good.
Oh,
He
so
just
great.
shoots so well. BS-13, Mimetism -3. No wound incapacitation is great. Veteran is great. Stick. Any of these weapons, I don't love the boarding shotgun. That would be my eh.
Yeah, why would you take that?
There's a reason, I'm sure, but
Is there?
You're playing Panic Room. You take 5 of them.
That's fair. The T2 rifle is really good.
Yeah.
T2 rifle light flamethrower is a gross combination
Yeah.
to have. They have heavy pistols too. Don't forget. They're just great. They just punch above their weight. They're a little spendy
Yeah, but they're worth it because that Kozak can take out attack.
in one turn with one order.
That's correct.
Yeah, that hasn't happened this week. The X-Visor T2 rifle is also super interesting.
That is...
Ooh.
I wouldn't want him in a core or something.
No.
I'd
no.
want him in Suppressive Fire, just...
Suppressive Fire or a Harris.
Okay, fair enough, yeah. I'm down with that.
Obviously, probably one of the stars of the show are the AP heavy machine guns. I think most factions in the game would love to have a BS-13 AP heavy machine gun with Mimetism -3. That's 2 wounds. It's great. Vet Cossacks are great. They're whip 14, which is weird. Kind of a downside sometimes because it makes hiding your lieutenant a little bit harder.
Yeah, you kind of narrow it down to Voronin or them.
Yeah.
And a very specific profile. Oh, I guess, I mean, if you're taking the APHMG, that's fine, but really risky.
Yes.
Silly. If we're talking about whip 14.
That's true, Vasily.
Does he have a model yet?
Yeah, you own it.
Hey, he was in the Gold Run.
Oh,
He's
oh,
the
that's
dude.
fun.
He's the dude with like the scarf and
Just
yeah,
like,
yeah, that dude.
okay, yeah.
So there's two more models that I think really help identify TAC, and that's Colonel, however you say this, Voronin.
Eugenie.
There you go.
I don't know.
Pretty close.
Eugene.
You have Goonie?
This is your
Voronin.
lieutenant. If you take him, he is your lieutenant.
Mm-hmm.
Don't. You could take the 20 and 21 point. Don't.
The T2 boarding shotgun's so great.
This boarding shotgun lieutenant, Strategos.
I didn't even realize he could be wildcarded, too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he's great. So the T2 boarding shotgun, prone somewhere on a roof or wherever your fire team is, he's helped guarding them because he's got a T2 boarding shotgun. He's got guard and a decent martial arts and a decent CC stat. So things have to be a little careful when they walk up on him, right? You don't want him to be fighting, but he
No.
can. He's great. I think Strategos is fantastic. +1 command token is also fantastic. Obvious lieutenant, but
Are there any other models in Ariadna that have Strategos?
I don't think so.
I don't think in all of Ariadna. No. Strategos is a pretty rare skill, and a lot of factions don't have it, at all. So I think he's pretty iconic here. And then I think the last one
Ermendinos, probably.
is that I really want to talk about. Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead, Ermendinos.
I mean, D-charges, awesome. Having, honestly, I don't really see myself taking Ermendino with a submachine gun too often.
No.
You want to take the template weapons. The chain rifle's so great. The boarding shotgun is phenomenal. Having smoke grenades is awesome, and being able to roll on the booty chart is always fun.
And just the idea of an 8-point engineer
Ugh.
who's whip 13, right? He's physique 14, so he's smoke dodging on 17s, right?
Pano whip.
Better than Pano whip. Pano wishes it had this whip for 8 points. I think the Ermendino is a fantastic model, and your list will probably have one.
At least.
Ermendinos are, I've heard this the other day as my little Sebastian unit, in which I heard people freaking out about how amazing they were. I didn't get it. And then I used one, and then all of a sudden I understood why you're going to force at least one Ermendino into any list you can when you have them. I mean, that has been my life mantra now. I'm like, I need Ermendinos. If I ever make a list for TAC, Vanilla, or Cosmoflot that doesn't have at least one Ermendino, I feel like I'm doing something wrong with my life and I'm upset about it.
Does the list you submitted today have an Ermendino?
As what? Oh, no, it doesn't. No, but I will defend that. And it bothered me.
We'll get to it.
And it bothered me.
So a couple more things that we should talk about first. Line Cossacks. These guys are fine. They're 9 points. What do you
Alright.
want?
Buy a missile, buy a sniper. I don't know.
Like,
Sniper's alright.
these are a great little cheap core. You don't really want to fight with them. The Line Cossack missile is great. Line Cossack sniper rifle is great.
Why would you ever take an APHMG on a Line Cossack?
Because you're cheap.
They're one SWIC instead of 1.5 SWIC, and it is an AP heavy machine gun on a line troop.
That's fair.
Like, that's weird, man. That's
Fair.
actually kind of weird. He is much more effective against a tag than my Fusilier AP heavy machine gun at the cost of 1 ballistic skill. So,
Okay.
like,
I don't hate it. The paramedic I would take in almost any situation. If you're taking core fire team, I would take the paramedic. I wouldn't screw with a 112 who bizarrely is in this faction, even though a Kazakh
He
doctor exists.
doesn't belong, but whatever,
And I
sure.
wouldn't take the Kazakh doctor either. Why bother when you have a burst 2 medikit?
The fort, yeah, and you don't have cubes.
Right.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
the doctor is, eh. The Ford Observer, pretty decent little, Whip 13 flash pulse.
I like it.
10 points, man. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Whip 13 specialist, 10 points. Not ideal.
One thing worth mentioning is you can put one Frontovic in a core of
Yep.
Blind Kazakhs.
That was going to be the next place I went to.
Fair enough.
Is the Frontovics.
Man,
These guys are great. They are expensive.
I love them though. I mean,
And they're not overpriced expensive. It's just taking a core of them, you're at 100 points.
yeah, I've written at least one list with a Frontovic core. It's kind of a waste at some point, but
Having that MSV one though is really nice.
The only
Yes.
MSV in the faction outside of Ermendinos with booty.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, my auto pick for a core of Kazakhs would be the AP Sniper with MSV1.
yeah, so one of these guys can join your Long Cossacks, and if you're going to pick one, it's going to be the AP Sniper. Now, something you could theoretically do, and maybe you should do, is depending on your table and list and whatever you're doing, an AP Spitfire is also a good active turn killer in a fire team.
Or in a Harris, like Harris for sure.
It's better than a
Yeah.
Harris, but it's something to think about.
But you're not taking a Vet Cossack at that point?
Exactly.
Same thing?
The Vet Kozak can wildcard in, and he's just better.
That's my issue with it.
These guys are veterans, which is great.
True.
Oh yeah, that'll be interesting to get into too. Like, did you guys take Harris's in your list? I
We'll see.
yeah.
We'll get there. Frontovics are good. You won't take them in every list. You might take this MSV guy in every list because he's important.
The only other thing I'd throw out an honorable mention to is that heavy rocket launcher
Yep.
for 21 points.
Yep.
And it's a heavy rocket launcher. You can link him in either the core or a Harris. It's a nasty active turn piece. It's a nasty defensive piece. And it's got an assault pistol.
They
so
all
it's
have
good
assault
at-
pistols.
Yeah, they're good at pretty much any range. That thing is disgusting. And
Yeah.
it's cheap.
Don't underestimate the assault pistol. They are nasty. I think that's all I really want to talk about. We're not going to go through every profile in here. I guess maybe scouts are worth mentioning. They're skirmishers.
They're alright.
They have infiltration. They're all right. They can infiltrate. Strelux can't.
Take Pavel
Yeah, that's fair.
at that point.
Pavel's basically a better scout. Yeah, these guys, they fall in the category of they're fine. They're just expensive.
Yeah.
30 something points gets you a BS12 mimetism -3 thing, and that's okay.
I'm gonna be mean. One thing I want to specially call attention to is the courier tractor mule. I do not need a mine layer tractor mule. I want to buy a dozer so I can buy a tractor mule that does nothing for me. Pay a Swick for a rocket that's just gonna disappoint me. Everyone else has cooler remotes. Tractor mules were already met at best, but now we got a 15 order limit. Tractor mules are a waste of time.
Yeah, so the two tractor mule weapons are unique in the Katyusha and the Uragan,
Oh, that's trash.
and
It's an 8 to 16 total reaction missile. Who needs that?
yeah, and yeah, it's not good. It's not good. The one thing we'll say is that it can spec attack.
Oh wow, it's AP plus shock.
Yeah,
Wait, no, hold on. Is that the guided one?
No.
I think only
No, it is the guided one.
Is it
Or,
guided?
or
The-
total reaction one. Sorry, my bad.
So the Katyusha can both spec fire.
Okay, the
and
Katyusha
impact-
is double action, so it's not even explosive.
Right. Yeah, no, these things are not impressive. With the order limit going on,
With the tax too, the 13-point tax. It's not great.
dozers aren't good.
You have D charges in other units for cheaper.
You're paying 5 points more to not take an Ermendino.
Yeah,
That's
and
a sin.
so you're buying a BS11 rifle.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I'm out.
Woo, right? It is a regular order. Okay.
That's a no for me, dog.
There is, yeah, no, dozers are not great.
Let me tell you something. What a sick model, though. I love the Dozer model.
Yeah, you can always use it as an Ermendino.
That's fair.
That's what I've been doing.
Ooh, I'm gonna do that now.
You're welcome. Dog Warriors, I hate the models, and that really kills them for me. They're probably fine.
Use another assault pack. You're paying 24 points for a dog warrior. You could pay 3 more points and get 2 orders.
Jesus Christ. That's so true.
Take an assault pack. You'll be happier. You can get 2.
It's an irregular war. Oh my god.
Yeah, I wouldn't screw with that.
Yeah.
I like Ratniks and Tank Hunters. I don't use them in any list I don't play with attack, but I love them. I think about them every day.
The AP Spitfire +1 burst is pretty sweet. The Ratniks are really silly in that they just have so many weapons just glued onto them all
Ratniks
over
are
the place.
incredible. I
Well
love
done.
them. You know what it is? The Tank Hunter and the Ratniks are just my favorite things. They're just a million big guns glued to some Russian guy that's just like, I am here to kill. But they're not the best at it, so here we are.
Very similar to the way the Russians actually deal with their military-industrial complex.
The tank hunters are okay. They're camouflage. They can get like a nasty surprise attack, but
They can only deploy in your...
yeah.
So, like, sure, the AP HMG is probably your best option.
And it's unfortunately the least fun because the portable autocannon is just so appealing.
That model is incredible.
It's so goofy.
It looks so dumb. Who in their right mind would ever shoulder fire a portable autocannon, which I'm assuming is at least a 20 millimeter?
A Morat would.
Yeah, but Morats are monkeys.
So are we.
And so is that Tank Hunter.
Yeah. They're okay. Honestly, they don't impress. There's just so many other camouflage things. Vasily is another one of those things. I think he's super cool.
Yeah.
He's just expensive.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Vasily is the kind of guy I keep wanting to use him. What's weird is I wouldn't use the T2 sniper. I'd rather have the T2 marksman.
Chain of commanding him wouldn't be awful if you wanted to go ham on like a Rambo
Like a Vet
lieutenant.
Kozak.
Yeah.
I've thought about that.
But that's still like what?
That's 80
86?
points.
86 points. So closer to 90.
Yeah, it's... I could see him being perhaps better in vanilla. That's... Moose, why are you so loud, buddy?
But in vanilla, you can take a Zenit 7 for chain of command
That's a good point.
at that point, and you're not paying so much for a piece that's probably going to hang out in camo, and they both have decoy. I don't know.
I don't either. So, I think we've kind of gone over the faction. They're pretty cool.
I think
They
so,
play a
yeah.
board control game.
Love them.
They have some really cool fire teams. They have some really good board control and just gunners, man. They can shoot you off the table if you're not careful.
Yeah, they're nasty.
Or they can beat you up in close combat.
Very true.
So let's talk about the mission. So the format we did is we felt, of course, we could make generic attack lists, right? That are good, all comers, show up to your local game store and play some tack. You don't know the mission, you don't know the opponent, you don't know anything. But by doing that, we'd all probably have very similar lists. So what we decided to do for this segment is each randomly get a mission from ITS Season 12 and build a attack list for that mission against an unknown opponent. And that kind of creates some interesting things, because when you're building for a specific list, different aspects of a faction can come out. They are just so hyper, these dogs.
They know you're doing something with audio.
They do know I'm doing something with audio. Hey, they're doing something.
I'm gonna fuck it up. So,
So-
we're with rescue.
Yeah, we'll start with Rescue. So this is the one I drew. Rescue is a really actually hard mission. You can read along here if you want, but the basic gist of it is that you're trying to rescue hostages. There's a bunch of civilians on both sides of the table. You're trying to go grab your civilian and bring them back. Specialists are important in that they can civ-evac 2 models, but a regular model can civ-evac 1. Civ-evacing is a pain in the butt. You got to get silhouette contact with them. You got to pass a whip roll. If you fail, they become hostile, and now they're harder
Oh dear.
the next time. Yeah, it's a pain in the butt.
I haven't played rescue.
You should. It's a good time.
Doesn't sound like it.
It's weird. It's a weird mission. And so you get points for each civilian you have in civ-evac state at the end of the game. You have the same number, you get some points. If you have more civilians in your dead zone, you get 2 points. And if you have more civilians in your deployment zone, you get even more. And obviously there's a classified.
Good old classifieds.
Good old classifieds. So this mission's actually really hard in a lot of ways. When you civ-evac a civilian, that's great and all. Your opponent can just kill the dude who's synchronized with the civilian. And suddenly the 4 orders you spent failing whip rolls to convince Sarah Connor to come with you is all for nothing, and the Terminators win, right?
Aleph wins.
Yeah, Aleph wins or fucking Onyx wins. So it's real hard, and I think TAC is actually well equipped for it. So this is the list I came up with. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
So these guys have only briefly seen the list, and they probably don't remember it at all.
No.
So something about this, I'll just go back here real quick, is that there is exclusion zones in this mission.
Ooh,
Yeah,
the natural predator of TAC.
the natural predator of all of Ariadna.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Like whenever I see exclusion zones in a mission that we're playing, I'm like, I'm probably not playing Ariadna today.
So you may be perplexed by some of my choices, but just hear me out. So I've got 2 Spetsnaz.
Okay.
I brought a parachutist Spetsnaz.
Yep.
With boarding
Yeah.
shotgun grenades.
Great choice.
Great choice, but there is the exclusion zone. Right? So they can only walk on in a 4-inch on each side window. So are they going to work every time?
No.
There are going to be some missions where I deploy them in my deployment zone and they just guard a civilian. That sucks.
No, it's another boarding shotgun camo marker, and like
They're
I
not
can
camo.
see-
When they're
Oh,
mimetism.
Parachute is
yeah.
one of it.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, so he's just a mimetism boarding shotgun with grenades and decharges. Now, I'm kind of banking on when you play exclusion zone missions, your opponent probably won't necessarily expect that you'll have a parachutist. Because parachutists come down in value quite a bit in these kinds of missions. If I can surprise them, turn 2 or turn 3, walk in and just blast who they have synchronized with their civilians, and then grab a civilian and book it.
No, that's a good point.
I've considered the same thing. Looking at that is just you have, especially because I think you want to end in like either your deployment zone.
Yeah,
or
you wanna
the
bring
dead
them
zone
back,
or
yeah.
something. So yeah, boarding shotgun just come through and sweep at the end.
You do have to be careful with the template. If it goes over a civilian, the attack
Cancels it,
fails.
yep.
Really?
Yeah,
Yep.
because they're neutral models.
Oh, I thought they just
No,
civilian ducked.
no.
Oh.
Yeah, so if your model hits if your template hits a friendly model or a civilian model, the attack fails.
Oh wow.
So be aware of that. The other option here that I took is the Spetsnaz heavy machine gun.
Excellent
I love
choice.
this guy.
It's so good.
Yep.
If they have a TR bot, this guy can eat it. He'll just surprise attack them, and it's over.
You could eat a Harris too. I mean, if there's a point man or a reactive team, you could just
Yeah.
eat that guy because you don't have a surprise attack.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Spetsnaz and my love for it is why I have such a hatred of 5 and 4 man core teams.
That's fair.
And why they have Sixth Sense, because I honestly, if I'm being real with you guys, I think of my darling Spetsnaz, and I think, well, he's not good at that, and that bothers me.
And low-key, one of the things I love most, Decoy 1
Yep.
with the camouflage. I'm playing a pretty camo-heavy game, which you'll see real
Oh,
quick.
yeah.
So next up, I have my core fire team. I have the Vet Kazakh with APA heavy machine gun, the Line Kazakh with missile, a couple riflemen, and a paramedic. This is a pretty standard loadout.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Something to keep in mind, I also have Colonel Veronin.
Mm-hmm.
If I want this Vet Kazakh to be out on his own, I still have a 5-man link.
Yep. Or if one of your Kazakhs bite it.
Reforge the link, back to 5.
Yep.
So it's one of those things where based off how my turn order, deployment order, what the table looks like, if my opponent has set up a bunch of things to defend their civilians at range, Vet Kazakh, AP, HMG, and a 5-man link,
Ugh.
just mow them down.
You can throw him in suppressive fire too.
Yep.
Not in the link, but yes.
Well, no, I'm saying
Yeah,
outside
exactly.
like you can, yeah.
Yeah, so he's great. He's flexible. He does a lot of things. Love him. I don't have a ton of heavy hitting things in this list outside of him. So if they have a tag list, that AP heavy machine gun is kind of my go to. So we have the missile, kind of self-explanatory. Just ask the question.
Yeah. That you shouldn't answer.
Medkit, obviously. If one of these guys goes down, if I still have 3 of them up, burst 2 paramedicing is great.
Question for you though.
Yep.
Okay, Vet Kozak goes on new wound in cap. Do you bother healing him?
No, I don't.
Okay,
I don't.
fair enough.
This would really only be for the missile or just to get some orders back. You can always split your bursts too.
Yeah.
If you have 3 of them up and maybe
Okay.
you want to get 2 guys back up, cheeky 1 order, split burst,
That's fair.
2 guys back up. It's a thing.
I would.
One of them might die. Yeah.
My crazy ass though would consider putting 2 medikit shots into the Vet Kozak.
How'd that go for you with your Corregidor?
No, that was one
I know.
YOLO shot
I'm teasing.
on McMurrow, and it went horribly because I depended on it.
I'm kind of surprised about the motorized 112, so I'd like to hear about that.
Yes, this is a really bizarre choice. Motorized 112s are not very good. The 112 is awful, and the motorized is a faster 112 with a smoke grenade launcher, which is relevant. The reason here is it's fast,
Yeah,
and it's a specialist.
yeah, he's cheap.
And,
And he's cheap.
Yeah, okay.
He's whip fine. Go up, Civivac. I don't think there's any rules against being on a bike and Civivacing. They have to keep up with you, but just the idea of this group 1 is I have an order battery that can maybe do some killing if I need it. And then I have 2 pieces that can actually go out and get civilians back.
Gotcha.
I do have a question for you though.
Yes.
That 112 on a bike, why not forward observer dynamo?
Because impetuous guys cannot Civivac.
Oh,
That is why.
So the 112 isn't impetuous.
He's not impetuous.
Wow. Okay, I'm glad I asked that then.
It's a great question. I forgot about that, but I explicitly picked the one. I was like, oh,
Okay.
Dynamo. Dynamos are great.
All right.
That'll be great for this. And I was like, wait a minute. Let me
That
read the
is-
Civivac
Good
rules.
to know.
So the 112 motorized, not something I'm crazy about. But
Right.
in this mission, I
Might
think
be
he has
worth it.
merit. And the light shotgun, if you need to Hail Mary, move 8 inches, and then light shotgun the enemy that's Civivacing something, you might not have any other option.
Yeah.
He can reach out and touch something.
He's BS 11, so the template is amazing.
Or the straight shot when they dodge.
Oh,
That's fair.
so great.
So that's the idea here in this group 1. Group 2 is my
Deterrence?
leave me alone.
Yeah.
So I've got 3 Strelocks with Mind Layer. You're going to be seeing a lot of these profiles today, I think.
They're so good.
This is basically 2 camo tokens because Strelocks have decoy.
Wait, three.
3, yeah. So two camo tokens
Shit, that's insane.
and a mine that comes out. Did you not realize this?
I didn't realize I
Did
forgot
you-
about the mine. I haven't used the mine layer profile a lot, but it is wild. Because the mine layer one is unique to TAC.
That is true. That is a true statement. So you have a boarding shotgun camo token.
Ugh.
You have a shock mine camo token. And you have a decoy camo token. This is gross.
The only issue you might have is keeping track of all your shit.
Yes, I recommend paper and pencil and notes. But, this is 9 camo tokens right here. None of them fun. If your opponent wastes an order trying to reveal a decoy, you feel really great about it.
Or you waste like 6 orders trying to reveal a decoy and you feel horrible. Not that I've had that experience.
No, that would never happen.
Right.
It totally happened.
Something else to note is these guys are fine at grabbing civilians as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if you see the opportunity and you can just go up and grab it, your forward deployment +8 is not as useful in this mission because of the exclusion zones, but still.
Just getting all of your stuff in front of your civilians is huge.
Yep.
Yeah. It's still a camouflage, decent whip, punchy little unit.
Yep. So, great. Next, I've got an Ermendino. Really, he's here for smoke. That's kind of his role. He can't pick up civilians. He can murder enemies that are carrying civilians. But really, he's there to throw smoke. Alternatively, he can trade with some pieces. He has D charges and engineer, which is relevant for classifieds. I have the doctor for classifieds. The only thing I'm really missing is the forward observer. Sure, you know,
You could make a Strelok a forward observer if you had to, but why?
It's not worth it.
I-
Having all of those mines covering all of those angles is insane.
So the last model I picked is another Strelok because they're AVA4. But this one is weird. I picked the K9 Antipode profile. So he's got submachine gun, chain colt, shock mines, and he carries around a K9 with him, K9 Antipode. So originally when I had this list, I definitely had the Antipode Assault Pack. I love them. My thought was, hey, sensor's important. People use camo tokens for defense, like I am. I might need to detonate a minefield in case I'm coming up against a list like this. Cool. But then I realized I'm going to spend orders on them turn 1, and then I can't Civivac. Because you can't Civivac with synchronized peripherals.
Oh.
So I was like, okay, I still feel like I need an Antipode. I want the sensor. Camo tokens are a thing. I want to be able to clear a minefield. You know, hey, doggo, go run through this minefield and have fun disconnecting. Because even if you live, you're going to be disconnected at the end.
Fair.
But if it clears the way for the Strelok controller or anyone else, the 112, to zoom up, come with me if you want to live, hop on my bike, zoom away, or 2, you know, if that 112 can grab 2 models,
Oh, that's money.
that's money because she's a specialist and they can grab 2. So that was the idea on this list. Thoughts?
I mean, obviously, I'm immediately drawn towards your camo shell game of hell, which is those Strelok mine layers, because you'd have to be very, very, very good at maneuvering, which I am not, to get around those shock mines and stuff like that, or to have them like be canceled because the shock mine hits a civilian or something like that, because you get the perfect.
It'd be hard.
It'd be incredibly difficult. I don't see it happening. I think that your list is very well made for this mission.
I think the one thing I'm still thinking about is maybe the Spetsnaz goes to Group 2.
You know what? I could see that.
Because now I have another 2 camo tokens here. So before there was 2 camo tokens up here. That's kind of an obvious tell.
Yeah.
Now I did have a group of 9. So like, you know, maybe my opponent's not paying attention and doesn't realize that.
But so now it's 7 and 5.
This would be 8 and 5 plus
Well,
regular.
it depending on how you do your parachutist.
Right.
So here's what I'm thinking. That Spetsnaz HMG wants to eat orders. Your Vet Kazakh wants to do that. Your parachutist wants that.
Yeah.
Throw the Spetsnaz HMG in Group 2. You got 3 Strelok mine layers who aren't going to be doing much. I mean, they can, for sure.
Yeah.
But maybe use 2 coordinated orders to
to
place
say,
mine and recamo.
These are some
But-
great coordinated order or
Yeah.
move up.
Yep.
You know, if you have first turn and they deployed really conservatively, you might want to spend all your orders on the Strelaks, moving up, deploying more mines, and camoing. You lose your decoys.
Absolutely, that's
But-
fine though. Yeah, but then you just turn the civilian area into double hell, like actual hell,
Like
Not-
World War One, like no man's land.
right.
I would say if you're against like a Yotam's list, don't do that.
Okay, fair.
Because the stock mines are whatever.
Yeah. Well, at that point, you're probably more concerned about getting that one of your AP weapons
Yeah. To
to
bear.
go fight it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of merit in that, in moving the Spetsnaz down here.
But yeah, I don't think those Strelaks individually are doing much
I would agree.
because it's an arm one. It's an arm 1 unit at BS11.
Yep.
It's good conditionally, but otherwise, meh.
And I think you bring up a good point. So like if you go up against a tag list, which I don't think it would make a lot of sense
Yeah.
to do that in rescue, but like if you're going up against,
Yeah, but tags are good, man.
especially if you take out the remote inside of it, if you're Pano and stuff like that.
Well, the remotes also can't Civivac.
Oh, they
too.
can.
Remotes can't Civivac.
Okay, right.
People don't follow Terminators.
That's
Civivac
unfortunate.
has a lot of rules, so make sure you read them carefully.
But like, if you lose your Vet Kazakh and your Line Kazakh,
Yeah, I'm kind of out in the wind, huh?
Again, it might not come up.
Yeah. Yikes.
I really it depends on the army. That's the real issue there.
But maybe this turns into you play the mission kind of thing. That tag isn't helping you with
Yeah.
much.
That's true.
So you're not fighting the tag. You're fighting everything else.
And depending, do any tags have MSV?
Yeah, the Aleph tag has MSV too.
Okay, but like your Ermendino could smoke out a lot of
Absolutely.
stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean that Hermandino is a weird anti-tag device.
He sure is. He smokes him, walks up, and just
Yeah,
starts decharging
decharges.
him. That feels pretty bad.
Yeah,
Well, unless we have any more comments on this.
I think it's pretty solid.
The only thing I'd say is I wish you had more smoke, but I don't know where I'd make that sacrifice.
I think if I wanted more smoke, I
Drop
would
in
cut the
Spets.
Spetsnaz
Yeah.
parachutist.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the
fair.
first thing I would cut.
Yeah.
He's the weirdest choice because of the exclusion zones. There are going to be some games where he does really well, and there are going to be some games where you're like, man, I just have to deploy him in my deployment zone, and that feels bad.
I do like him though.
But cutting him, you can take another Ermendino and something in the 23-point range.
Hell, you could even take Dynamo Duo and just spew more mines out there and hate more people.
That
Might
great
not necessarily be what you want to do, but you could.
My problem with the Dynamos is that they can't complete the mission.
Fair.
point.
And
Make it harder.
yeah, but like I've
He has
already
so
committed
many.
60 points to mines and mine layers and boarding shotguns
So why not dedicate 80 points?
because I don't want to draw the
100
game.
points. I see. I don't get that.
John and I are notorious for drawing games. Just making impossible board states where we can't play the game.
I draw a Bruce too. I just draw.
No. John just skull fucked me in a game, so disabuse yourself of any notion that John is.
If our last game was a tie.
All right, so let's move on. Highly classified.
This was mine, and so you gotta accomplish more classified. So if you get some hacking stuff in your Ariadna, ooh boy, that is not good. Another thing to mention is the decompression zones.
Yep.
Obviously, incredibly important. You don't have anything that can really move through them super well.
Scouts can.
Total terrain does.
Yeah, total terrain.
So scouts,
Scouts.
Do Strelix have it?
if Strelix have it, it's like that just lends more to the point where we just love Strelix.
No, Strelix don't have it.
Oh,
Sorry.
Yeah.
trash models. You just can just throw them away right now.
Gross. Scouts, Pavel. No.
And
So-
so this was mine, and I'm not super happy with the way I did this. I'm taking the Spetsnaz HMG because he's a really good hit piece. Ermendino because he's an engineer, which is really important, and you obviously need an engineer.
And sometimes you get MSV out of booty.
That's correct. That helped me in a game against you a while back.
Yeah, that was, you were like, oh, MSV, oh, what a big deal, ooh, who cares? And then, like, oh, wait, I can just get this classified for free. It's
That's
like,
correct.
yep.
Taking the 2 Dynamo pair, Paramedic, and just regular submachine gun because Dynamo Paramedic, he can zoom around, and I guarantee you, my shit will die.
Yeah.
So here comes my core fire team, and I'm like looking back on it now, I'm not really happy with it. The Vet Kazakh APHMG, for sure.
Yeah,
Line
love
Kazakh
it.
missile, awesome. Line Kazakh rifle, Front of it with the T2 is where I'm really hung up on. I think I should make points for the multispectral visor just so I can have that in the list already and not have to rely on my Ermedinos.
Your random booty roll.
Which,
fair.
I mean, hey, it can work out
Can.
1 out of 20 times.
Something like that.
But who cares? Line Kazakh with rifle, because, I'm
Line Kazakh Lieutenant.
I'm a big fan of my scrubs.
Oh, I
Honestly,
love.
I'm a huge fan of Lion Cossack Lieutenant.
Oh, they're so good.
They're fine.
It is buried in a core team. Core teams are hard to fight.
Yeah.
And then you gotta guess.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you gotta guess. You got at least one decoy. That's
Yep.
fine. That is fine.
Also, this could be one too.
That's
Oh,
true.
the
It'd be weird.
Well, okay, no, but when you
That's
when
true.
you say,
They have to know whip 14.
Yeah, exactly. When
But your
you
opponent might
announce-
not realize. People make mistakes.
I make mistakes all the goddamn time.
That's
Yeah.
a gamble.
And then going into Group 2,
Can
again,
Funnavix be lieutenants?
they could.
Yes, but why?
Well, it's Whip 13.
Right.
And
And
the
also-
T2 rifle is the lieutenant profile.
Right.
But I don't know how much
I
that
don't-
matters for this
I-
mission.
And
Not
again,
like
again,
spending the
I'm
points for a
really,
Funnavik.
I'm really unhappy with that T2 rifle choice for the Front I think I should free up points elsewhere. Like maybe drop this Ermendino with chain rifle and up the Front to the MSV.
I have my thoughts on where I'd make those points, but go on.
Yeah, for sure.
So-
Strelok forward observer because I need a forward observer in the list. I'm taking the Antipode Assault Pack because I just want to make my opponent's life living hell.
These things can scalpel out. If your opponent has one model that can complete a classified, you can just send these guys on a cruise missile mission
Yep.
to just go eat that one thing, and suddenly your opponent cannot do that classified.
Yep.
And then you have a weird, even if all three die, you have a weird, irregular order from
With a
attack awareness
With a smoke grenade launcher.
to lob a shitty smoke grenade launcher. Yep.
Spec fire smoke grenade launcher, or
Uh-huh.
stand up and maybe
Right.
die.
It is free. Do it.
Yep.
I'm taking the War Driver because there's a chance I can get hacking stuff, and it's just
Who expects it?
useful to
Yeah,
have.
that too.
I'm taking in another Vet Kazakh forward observer because I have one in my collection right now and I haven't painted. I really honestly like the profile with
He's
the
whip
weapons that he
14.
has. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
That is the profile though that I would consider downgrading to make the points for your sniper.
That's fair.
If I had to pick.
That's fair. I can't argue with that.
Yeah, you're gonna struggle potentially against camo specialists
Mm-hmm.
that wander in front of your fire team, and you try and discover them, and you fail because they're mimetism -6 specialists, right? In camo state, and then you can't discover them
Yeah.
again for the rest of the turn. And they
Eat them
just,
with the antipodes.
maybe he's going second,
Fair?
right? And they just waltz up, and you know it's a ninja hacker, and he just does his little hacking classified, and you know,
Yeah.
like.
But yeah, I'm not trying to dunk on your list.
No, no, no,
I'm
but
I'm
I-
thinking though that the veteran Kazakh photo observer, I like the profile, but if you're trying to make points, I would take another
Yeah.
Strelok,
I
take
agree.
the sniper.
I agree.
But how do you find half a
Alternatively-
Swick? Fuck.
Yeah, the Swick's the problem. The War Driver costing a full Swick.
Oh.
The full Swick hacking device War Driver.
Damn
What a
you,
pain
War
in the
Driver.
ass.
I guess I could take. No, I need the.
You could down.
Could I downgrade that War Driver just to be a regular hacker? I don't want to say regular hacker, but the
So-
zero pain.
If you do that,
Oof.
you can no longer spotlight the HVT with it.
So-
Now is that a bad thing? You have forward observer, so you can still complete the classified.
That's true.
Zero pain doesn't help you though, and
Not all.
like at all, right?
Yeah,
that is
for
a waste.
Hmm.
The regular hacking device, you know,
Could be useful.
maybe you don't get a mission that you don't get any classifieds with hacking. This is a 12-point order, right?
Fair.
He protects your deployment zone with a boarding shotgun, and that is his life. That is his existence. If there might be a case where maybe you need to try and isolate an enemy.
Yeah.
It's edge case. It's still in your deployment zone. I like that you took the War Driver, though.
I feel like it's important in highly classified to give yourself as many chances as you can.
Yeah, so you've got 2 engineers with 2 sets of decharges. That's great. The paramedic.
Mhm.
That's great. You're a little light on the paramedics, right?
Sure, I
'Cause he's impetuous.
Yeah.
Motorcycle can't prone. He's very easy to kill compared to like a
Sure.
prone doctor, right?
Sure.
But our doctors suck.
Yeah.
So
And also, too, I can duo them, get mines out, and cover
Yep.
my HVTs.
the
stuff
mine
like that.
dispenser's dope. Dogged is dope.
Yep.
These are 2 amazing things. I think the list is fine.
I just think that I could make this better.
Yeah,
I do think it'd be good.
I think it would be fine. I think it sucks to take the War Driver. That sucks.
It's
Yeah.
such a huge tax.
I hate taking the War Driver so bad, I would just deal with hacking.
That's fair.
But that's me.
Yeah, I've never taken the War Driver. Man,
It's hard.
it is hard But I like that you took it in this scenario.
Yeah, this would be the one I would do it.
Yes, this or the other classified mission one.
Yeah.
We have any more notes on this one? I think it's fun.
I think it's interesting how all of us want the vet, or at least so far, we all want a vet Kazakh in a Link team.
At least the option. I mean, look at him. All right, now we got John's list. So, John, being
God.
the most seasoned Ariadna player of us, gets the most complicated mission in Firefight, where the mission is to kill each other.
Right. Yeah. When I got this mission, I was like, all right. Like,
To be fair, each player does have 3 classifieds.
okay, you know what? Actually, I
Probably didn't think about that enough.
I missed that so hard. My God, this changes almost nothing. Okay. So, you got 3 classifieds, right? So, thinking out loud, I'm gonna start wildly defending my crappy list here.
So before we get there, let's just talk about the mission.
Yes.
You want to kill more specialist troops than the enemy, to kill more lieutenants than the enemy, to kill more army points than the enemy, and have acquired more toys from the panoplies than the adversary.
That's one of the best parts of the game is just rolling for your toys.
And getting exactly what you don't need.
Oh, you know.
So the other interesting thing about this scenario, there's no quarter, so no retreat, right? We do have the localized decompression, like we talked about,
Should we always remember that?
which we never forget to deploy, ever.
Right.
That has never once happened.
Not tonight.
Panoplies do require whip rolls. Yeah, not tonight. That didn't happen.
Unless you have booty.
Unless you have booty. And then the other interesting thing really here is designated landing area. Now, it doesn't super duper help with Ariadna, but you do need to be aware of it.
Oh god, that's so nasty for Liu Jing.
Yep.
Or
So,
anything.
Just to read this out loud for people, you make a +3 mod to your combat jump rolls.
Yep.
Oh,
And
dude, if you're an evil
parachutists
hacker.
can land in the enemy deployment zone.
Yep. So Ariadna is concerned with it, but man, the combat jumping at +3 is gross.
Yeah.
This is
because-
an Imperial Army mission.
It
Invincible Army, sorry.
with an Evo hacker, right? You're at +6.
That's you're on a 20. You can't fail.
You're on a 20.
Oh,
Yeah. The what are they called? Lu Xing.
Yeah,
Liu Jing,
Liu Jing.
Tiger
Lu
Soldiers.
Xing can't fail. Hellcats.
Unless the enemy has an Evo hacker.
Yeah. Okay. Hellcats can't fail. Hellcats can crit somehow.
I want to play this game with my Invincible Army.
Gotta watch out for like some of the combined army stuff. Kodali could
Yeah.
be absolutely gross.
that'd be
Just
gross.
jumping behind you and just murdering
I
fools.
mean,
Yeah.
hell, even Akals.
Even Akals, who are awful.
They're not
At their
great,
job.
but like you can do it.
But now they're good.
In this mission,
Now they're all right.
not that we're talking about Pano, but in this mission, if you can take Akals, you should consider it. Because they can still parachute us behind the enemy's DZ.
Yes. So
They become Van Zant.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not account for that. Not that I didn't think of it. I just didn't care. To be real. I mean, okay, like you okay, great. Combat droppers, Ariadna combat droppers. That list is nothing. And your Spetsnaz get like 12 inches extra. Okay, I like Spetsnaz. I love the idea of it. I don't know. I'm not super invested in it. So here's my list. In combat group 1, we have 1, 2 regular line Kazakhs. One of those is your lieutenant. The idea is just to have at least one decoy.
Yep.
Then you have a paramedic line Kazakh in there, and then a sniper rifle line Kazakh.
So Ariadna sniper rifles, bear mentioning,
Yeah.
just in general, they're half a swick.
Yeah,
And they're cheap.
yeah. I mean they're not AP. But
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
They're cheap.
But it's a damage 15 shot, which is cool.
They're shock too, right?
I don't think so,
They might not be.
but
That might be some N3 talk.
yeah. No. Oh, they are shock.
There you go.
They
Look at
are
me.
shock.
I know the armies.
I just don't think
It doesn't
shock.
come up much.
So just for half a SWIC and 16 points, yeah, for another point you can get a missile. I didn't have the SWIC for that in this list.
Yep.
Otherwise, I'd take a missile. But whatever. I have a Frontovic AP sniper rifle with the MSV1, and then a veteran Kazakh with the AP heavy machine gun.
Ugh.
So the idea is just this core just sits there to just dunk on you. I would even consider having the Vet Kazakh stand up if you're in reactive turn at that point, because then you're eating a sniper rifle, you're eating a HMG. You're probably more worried about the HMG, but that sniper rifle's hitting you at that
Well, there's
point.
an AP sniper rifle
And
too.
an AP sniper, yeah. So at that point, you've got 6 shots coming in. Most of them are pretty good.
That's heinous.
Yeah. And then the last thing to round out that group is the Antipode Assault Pack. Because, let's be real, people are going to see your core fire team deploy. They're going to say, oh, fuck that, and avoid the Vet Kazakh as much as you can. You're playing Ariadna, you're playing a sneaky faction like Taxi. You probably wanted to go second anyway. But, you know, it's good to know that they're going to avoid your core fire team so that Antipode Assault Pack exists to just use all those orders and missile something while you're at it. In combat group number 2, I have a Dynamo with an AP Spitfire. The idea being is it is cheap enough, it's 24 points, it's 1 SWIC. Go YOLO something, throw some mines down, go eat something. It's not going to make it to the end of the game. Whatever, that's fine.
As long as it makes its points back, right?
Yeah, go
'Cause-
destroy something because you are a BS-12 AP Spitfire. You are practically the Unknown Ranger at that point. But not quite. There's a lot of differences. But
Yeah, let's not go that far.
There's like 700 different
Yeah.
rules for why he's not the...
Right, yeah, for sure. But it's just... AP Spitfire is cool.
It
BS-12.
definitely is.
So go punch something above your weight class. Throw some mines out there with your impetuous order. Whatever, right? Then I have 4 Strelok mine layers.
Now, would you consider putting any of these in your backline to protect against parachutists?
You know, when you mention it, yeah, I would. I mean, it's one of those things where go protect your core fire team.
Yeah.
You've got 3 camo markers you can use. One of which is a mine. One of which is a +1 mine because you're a boarding shot.
Or AP.
Yeah, exactly. And then one's a decoy. But make that one funny. I don't know. But put it on the building with the core fire team and laugh as your opponent tries to discover it from across the board.
There's a whole thing with the decoy, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you place it out in the open
Right.
where like people are like, oh, that's just a decoy?
Right.
Or do you place your actual Strelok out in the open?
Right. I have broken myself on that decision repeatedly because I'm like, well, are they that crazy that they would put something dumb out in the open?
Is my opponent smart enough to know that I would make
Right.
this play?
Knowing Ariadna,
Or are
I
they just so
immediately-
dumb that they're going to be like, oh,
Ooh.
that what is that? Let me see what it is.
I immediately break my own brain overthinking about that. So, after that, okay, to be honest with you, thinking that there's 3 classifieds, the only thing I would change in this list, maybe, with that revelation that I didn't think of, is that maybe I make one of those mine layers into a forward observer.
That's
Because
fair.
I can
I
see
just
that.
want a forward observer at that point.
Would you consider also changing the Line Kazakh sniper to a missile at that point? Because you would have the SWIC, right?
Would I? Okay, so that brings me to have a SWIC. Yeah, I do that. I would
Yeah.
do that in a heartbeat. Yes. So I would take out the Kazakh sniper. I would put in the Kazakh missile because that is way better. Yeah, so it's a great point.
Yep.
And 1 Strelok forward observer at that point.
Yep.
You got enough mines. I'm happy with how many mines are there.
Oh, God.
But anyway, so you've already got, let's see, 1, 2, 3 Strelok mine layers. That's 9. So you've got 11 camo markers clogging up the midfield.
Well, plus the 3 antipodes.
Right. Whoa.
No.
Okay. You got a 40mm base.
Also, too, we haven't gotten to the
Camouflage.
other 3 antipodes. At
Right.
The bottom
Whoa.
of the-
That is the next thing. You are attack. This is AVA 2. This mission is about killing people. Take that second antipode assault pack. Your 15 points of weird furry dogs will trade up. Go point at something you know is more than 15 points.
Or
You
a
can
specialist.
guess that. Or a specialist. Eat something.
Or literally anything.
Yeah, anything. You will not regret taking 6 antipodes. Your opponent might not speak to you anymore, but it's fine. You'll win the game. It's cool. 1 Antipode Assault Pack is enough to make people hate you. 2 will be hilarious. Do it.
So something I should point out to everyone
Yes.
is that you should highly consider hiding your specialists on narrow staircases.
Fuck
you're-
that.
If your opponent drops this list against you, because if the antipode can't fit, it can't sit.
Yep. So
I-
if you're sitting on one of the default Operation Wildfire or Caldstrom staircases, your chunky ass can't fit on the staircase and beat some pano bitch to death. Not that I am permanently traumatized from this.
I will point out that I am not brilliant. I did not think of that ahead of time. It literally just happened.
Oh, but I won't forget. Go eat anything that's not on a staircase, my children. And then last up, I didn't realize I put these in the list when earlier I talked about how I didn't. I have got 2 Urbandinos because this mission has booty. Urbandinos are amazing. Go clear a minefield. Go eat something
So
with a chain rifle.
don't clear a minefield. That would be my first advice.
Why?
Because you do want to have more specialists alive at the end of the game than your opponent.
Okay, that's fair.
So
That's
don't
fair. Make your Antipode go clear a minefield.
yes.
Never mind.
Don't throw your Ermendinos into a minefield.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they've got booty. Go get those panoplies. They are good at fighting. You
They have
can
smoke
go-
grenades.
Yeah, they've got smoke grenades.
The chain rifle's awesome with how big that template is too.
Don't forget they have a pistol too.
You
if-
can
That's a
go.
good point.
If an MSV model comes up on you and they're out of chain rifle range, obviously,
Yeah.
maybe you want to pistol them. Maybe you're at that
That's
point in the
fair.
game
Yeah,
where
you're
you
that.
don't want to dodge and you
Yeah.
really need to crit that miss who's
I-
walking up on you, right?
Oh man, I get that.
Don't forget about it. Don't use it all the time, but don't forget about it.
And you've got D-charges in your CC-21.
Oh,
And when you're out of D charges somehow, you have an AP close combat weapon,
That's very true.
which is not bad.
Yeah. Urbandinos are great. Even in this mission where I forgot that you had panoplies, I took 2.
like there's no reason not to take at least one.
They're such good smoke. They're just so
Yeah.
efficient.
They're great smoke, and then like 8 other things stapled onto it.
So I think my one big point I would say is because this mission has the to kill more specialist troops than the adversary,
Yes.
you have a lot of specialist troops that are kind of out there, right? These 2 Ermendinos and now the Strelok Forward Observer.
Okay.
It's kind of risky, right?
Okay, that's fair enough. I get that.
Do Dog Warriors have a place here?
No.
I don't think so.
So what I was thinking with the Dog Warriors, and I know I just dumped on them, but 2 Ermendinos gets you close to a Dog Warrior. Dog Warrior is not a specialist, has smoke grenades at high fizz, is effective 3 wounds, total immunity.
Okay.
Maybe. Just
Okay,
maybe.
that's-
Maybe.
So here's a counterpoint to that.
They can't complete classifieds.
And John, you have to make 2 more models.
Oh. Nope. No, but also they're not engineers. I mean,
That's the
so
thing.
The
Well, that's
give
the
you-
point, is that they're
give you
not a specialist that's out there to die.
Yeah, but okay, but this mission has panoplies though, and you want to be looting those.
You do want to be looting
And so
them.
booty
Well,
helps you with that, right?
Don't dynamos also have booty?
yeah.
No.
So here's the thing: at the end of the game, acquire more weapons. It's 1
Right.
point.
Right.
Right.
But hold on. Scroll down. The panoplies. Do you not roll if you have booty?
Troopers possess the booty special rule.
Yeah. So
They don't need to roll the whip roll.
Oh,
So yes, they are very good at this section right here. At the end of the game, acquire more weapons from there. They're really good at that.
So that's what I'm thinking though. So this list gives you 3 specialists, right? 4. Oh, the paramedics are not going to be exposed.
Presumably.
So 3, presumably, right?
Paramedics never die in link teams, right? Bruce?
Carl, I don't want to talk about it.
Keep that a missile range, man. But I don't
Sad
know.
days.
So just to answer what you're saying, I get your concern for sure, but I don't know. I
There's a
think
lot of lethality there.
3 specialists isn't the worst.
It's not. Well, 4. 3 that are vulnerable in some capacity.
3.5, because that paramedic is prone.
If he
to
dies, you
moves.
goofed. It's your fault. If he dies.
for sure. Yeah.
Although,
absolutely.
here's the thing: coming up against Yu Ching, Goomba stomping on your fire team, right?
Yeah, that'd be bad.
On
That'd
20s.
be really bad.
I really want to play my Yuching Invincible Army against this list.
Yeah, losing, just jumping in on that team.
Just Goomba
being-
stomping the
yeah.
Kazakhs and just
Yeah.
standing there with his boarding shotgun saying, "Go ahead, activate."
Oh, I would hate every fucking second of that. I dream about fighting that.
Now,
Do you?
do you have
No, like
nightmares?
nightmares. They're night terrors.
Okay, there we go.
So, would you not consider the boarding shotgun parachutist
I absolutely would.
or the AP rifle?
I would consider both. However, I don't know what to give up for them.
Understood.
Antipode pack, maybe.
Man, the Antipode packs are so good, though.
Yeah, but
Would you
God.
really? Would you really want to drop a Strelok and Ermendino and shave off points somewhere else?
No.
I'm not sure.
I don't think you could.
So one thing, a case I'm going to make for the Kazakh Spetsnaz is, besides the fact that they're awesome. and
Oh,
we
they're
love them,
great.
They're very cool.
both the boarding shotgun and the AP also have grenades. And if your opponent has a similar paramedic in a fire team prone on a roof,
Okay. Okay.
that is a problem solver, not an efficient one.
Okay.
I mean, it's one that
Right.
worked today.
I mean, okay, you're spec firing on 9s.
Correct, and they're dodging on 10s or 11s because they're
If you have a paramedic on a roof, okay, I'm just thinking, right? Antipodes move what, 12 inches a turn?
yeah, no.
No, hear me out. Your boarding shotgun nerd Spetsnaz spends his own order coming in on the table. Then he spends what, 2-3 orders?
Lobbing grenades and missing.
No, walking over first
Yeah.
of all because he's not on the board edge.
Right.
So he spends a turn or two walking over. So let's say 3 orders conservatively have been wasted now.
Yep.
Now you're spec firing on 9s
Which is
versus
bad.
right versus some moron paramedic is dodging on
11s for line Kazakhs. A lot of them are going to be 10s.
Well, because it's out of line of sight, right?
Yeah, but
So
Sixth
that-
Sense.
Oh God, right.
If
so
the
they're dodging
fire-
on the 11s, yeah.
if
So
the
you're,
fire
you're
team's intact.
fighting a losing spec fire. At that point, you could rocket your antipodes up the board, super jump them on that building, and swing. You have wasted 15 points.
Yeah, the Spetsnaz is expensive. When he dies, you feel it.
Yeah.
In this particular mission.
Yeah,
Right.
but when he tanks 4 armor saves, he
No,
loves
we
it.
don't talk about that. He takes more than 4. Out of cover. So, yeah, I don't know what I would change in this list.
I think it's good where it's at now that you've taken off a mine layer and added in that missile.
Yeah, I'm with that.
I'm still concerned about 2 Ermendinos.
I get that.
I would consider lowering it down to 1 and
I mean,
finding something else to
You
spend
could
the points
just
on. It's
add-
hard.
Like another line Cossack.
yeah, just as like a throwaway, like, oh,
Backup.
this was my lieutenant all the way in the corner, pro.
Well, guarding your deployment zone too is a thing,
That's
right?
fair. You know what? That's a excellent point. So yeah, I would consider
It's something to
dropping-
consider.
Yeah,
It's-
because we're at 299 points.
You'd have
So
you
if
have the
drop
points for it.
One Ermendino, you can take another line Kazakh. It's a backup for the core team. You could guard the deployment
DZ.
zone. That's fair. I like that.
It's not a must change.
Yeah.
It just concerns me.
Yeah. I
Two
get that.
two throwaway specialists
Yeah.
is like,
Yeah.
you know, they kill both of them. They have one specialist paramedic in their link. You literally you're down 2 points, right?
Right. That's
So
fair.
you have your classifieds in the other sections.
Yeah.
That's
I
rough.
mean, it is great to have all that smoke to help cover your antipodes.
But that means that your opponent took 1 specialist for a 3 classified objective mission,
Right.
which is a win in and of itself.
I think this mission, we haven't played it recently. We really should.
No, it's cool.
Yeah, I'm down to
The
try it
fact that it's a
sometime.
kill each other mission, but like,
But with
lol, you have 3 freaking classifieds.
If you and John
And
play that,
please.
it'll be hysterical.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
we never do anything.
We would just sit there looking at each other.
Yeah, turn 3 and be like, ah, shit.
I got my 1 classified to case back the guy in my fire team who exploded, but didn't explode enough. What do you have?
The same classified.
I've got a hack and I'm playing tack.
Yep. So, Is there anything else we want to talk about TAC? I think TAC is awesome.
Attack's great.
Ariadna's great, and TAC just
Yeah.
brings out all the best things in Ariadna, and it's a no-brainer considering that you can get so many great models in the action pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you, like, sure, get the Antipode pack, get the Kazakh pack, buy the APHMG Vet Kazakh.
Yeah. Or run your regular one as an APHMG, right?
Oh, that's
Just
fair.
proxy it.
Sure.
You're not going to be running two
Unless
two
you're-
Vet Kazakhs all the time.
Yeah, but
Unless you're some kind of nerd that likes to play WYSIWYG, like pretty much all of us are.
yeah, it's a problem.
It's a great sculpt.
It's a great sculpt. I think TAC is the most like vanilla Ariadna
I
of
would
the
agree.
sectorials.
Yeah, they're very similar.
And that's the reason why so many people think of them as like very strong.
Yeah, because vanilla Ariadna, we haven't talked about them yet. Obviously, it's our first episode, but they're crazy. Honestly,
Oh.
Nightmarish.
it is a nightmare to come up against these low tech humans.
Oh, I have so many lists where it's all camo markers except for one model.
Yeah, except for the freaking Antipode controller.
What? Why would that be there?
So, if you're looking to start Ariadna and you're overwhelmed by the huge list of models, I think
Yeah.
TAC is a great place to start.
I would agree.
Easily.
They have the great action pack that just got re-released. That's out, right? The TAC.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not for I've been like a
Action
month
pack.
or two now.
The TAC action pack is a great place to start.
That was great. Taction pack.
The Taction pack.
Taction pack's awesome.
Um,
And it will be good until our dreamt of
Cosmoflora.
Cosmo Corregidor
Oh man.
starter comes out, and then we will all be broke.
And there's overlap too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Tank Hunters.
Tank Hunter someday will be good.
One day, Tank Hunters.
I just if they rework the autocannon, it's doable.
Autocannons are just a really weird weapon. So for
Yeah.
the uninitiated, right? The portable autocannon,
Ugh.
its biggest problem.
It's the range.
I like the range.
It's okay.
It seems short for an autocannon.
32 inches. You know, it's heavy machine gun range bands, basically. But the biggest problem is just burst 2. Burst 2, AP explosive, but it doesn't drop a template. So your missile is a little bit lower damage, right? But it's got a template,
Yep.
and that template is a big deal.
Yup.
Yeah.
If somebody moves a Harris in front of a missile like a fool, you can erase the Harris, right? 100 points gone. Down the drain, donezo. The autocannon can mess up one of those guys' life.
Yeah. There is a missile profile which is cheaper.
Yes, I do like the missile profile, actually.
See, I'm distressed.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
something else to note. They have AP mines.
Why would you use them? If you are using your Tank Hunter's AP mines, you have done something wrong.
So AP mines are pretty rare, I guess
Right.
would be my statement.
Okay.
And most of the time you get shock mines.
Okay.
And something like a Yodam sees a shock mine and just goes, okay,
Right.
detonate it.
Okay.
AP mine? Less so.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they don't have a mine layer profile. So that means at some point in your life,
You have to
said
uncamo,
that game. My
move
Tank
somewhere.
Hunter places this camo token,
Yeah.
and your opponent is mildly literate in TAC and knows that that's an AP mine.
It's also open information because they have AP mines on their profile.
right.
So they know you place a camo token, and
Right.
if you're being true to how the game is played, you both know that that is an AP mine under that camo
Right.
token.
So yeah, I mean, you're not gonna. If there was like a, I don't know, give me like a forward deployment mine layer profile.
The Strelok?
With a riot stopper?
No, not gangbuster. But no, okay, hold on, hear me out, right? Because tank hunters are all about hunting vehicles, right?
Yeah.
So why does it not make sense that one would be ahead of the main force, put a mine down, and has an AP rifle to go mess it up once the treads are disabled or something?
I would be against that.
Carlos, hear me.
Yeah. And then pay us.
Pay me, yeah.
Or just give us free models to look at.
I'll just take a thank you, honestly.
That too. We'll take that.
Just say my name.
Say my name, say my name.
So, some interesting things that we can take away from this discussion in our 3 lists. The only models we didn't take in any lists were a Warcore, and that's just incidental. Honestly, Warcores are fine. Ariadna is usually cheap enough to fit something better than a Warcore.
Unless you're like really weird with your points.
Yeah,
But if you're if you're at 297 and 14 order slots, take a war core.
Yeah, but how'd you get there?
Yeah, it just doesn't seem to happen.
Blade Usurp, I don't know.
We didn't take any Cossack Doctors or 112s. You got no cubes.
Paramedics are where it's at.
Paramedics are just as good. They're linkable. Although this guy is also linkable.
Just as good.
But why are you paying extra points?
Yeah, at the point where you're linking your Cossack Doctor, you're
Using
using your Medikit because it's better than Whip 13.
I don't like it.
Because if you're medkitting line Cossacks,
I mean, it's only a 2-point difference.
You're already losing.
you're in a bad place.
Actually, though, hear me out. If you take the Kazakh Doctor instead and you drop one Ermendino, you could maybe add a war core into the list.
There you go.
And actually reduce the chances of you losing a specialist.
Woo.
Oh man.
We've done it.
It's an idea. I'm not sure it's a good one.
We've already talked about dozers. We don't like dozers.
Fuck 'em.
Ermendinos are better. The only reason to take a dozer it is to take the stupid remotes.
And they're bad.
The only one of these remotes I like is the vanilla 5-point tractor mule. And here's the thing, right? The honest truth of it is you take 2 of them, you're at 23 points, right? So across these 3 orders, you're at 8 points a pop. You're saving 1 point on a line Cossack.
Okay.
Drop the war core, take 3 line Cossacks.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm with you.
or take Ermendinos, who are also 8 points.
Yeah.
3 Ermendinos is so much more useful than 2 tractor mules with deactivators and a dozer. It is important to note, tractor mules do have baggage.
Right.
So if you're doing some goofy dynamo BS, some of the control the zone missions,
Coordinated order, lay mines. Coordinated order, resupply. Coordinated order, mines.
I don't see the place for it. The TR Ergon I've
Never.
toyed with.
Never in my life.
I've toyed with it.
Back in the Obama days, I ran with a
I'm
forward
sorry.
observer scout targeting something and then dropping Katyushas on it. And it went all right at best.
So what I would say is this is the hardest hitting TR bot in the game. At damage 14, AP shock with a template, ignoring cover. So
I hate that you're technically right. There's so much wrong with what you just told me.
I hate that I'm technically right as well. I hate it more than anything.
It is a burst 3 unmarksmanshipable TR bot that's only good out to rifle range.
Wait, what if you take a war driver, though? Would that...
This-
Oh, no.
this is a war driver and Evo hacker.
No, Rem Racers.
So here's the thing. TAC can't take any of that.
Oh, okay, never
So we're not
mind.
talking about it today.
Okay, never mind.
So the case I will make here, and it is not a strong case, all right? This is a 16-point defensive piece that if you can deploy in such a way that has a small range to cover your looting and sabotaging objective or your HVT, but you don't really... got to be careful with the HVT, right? Because you can't use blast if you're too close to it. Anyways,
Okay.
there could be a case where it could be effective.
Okay, then I'm mad
It is
about
16 points, and it's 1 SWIC. And all that's not great. Great. It's BS10. Do not deploy it on a roof. Because it gets surprise attacked. It's done. It's over.
It gets regular attack that's done.
Also, yes.
That's so true.
It's
But
hitting on 4s against anything that has any business fighting it because you're missing 3
Oh, no,
from cover, 3 from your range, which is not combi rifle range.
Oh, it's such a bad range.
it's really bad. I will also point out it is an Armor 2 TR bot.
Ooh.
Is this a grenade slingshot? I don't understand what is happening with this model.
I don't either.
Models look great
They're a pain in the ass.
I like it.
to build, sure.
It's a derpy little like.
It can go prone, too.
Oh my god.
Let's not forget, it can go prone now. And they do have BS attack guided, which would be great if you had any hackers worth taking.
Right.
Hooray.
Target with a Strela.
So, I don't think it's good. I don't think you should take it. I do think there is a use case.
Okay, I get it. It's
Some other things that we didn't take. Couriers, whatever. Honestly,
Same
see
issue.
tractor mules.
It
Add
is a
add
worse-
mine layer.
More expensive tractor mule.
I guess we could maybe the Ratnik.
So scouts. None of us took scouts in our lists,
Yeah.
and I think it really boils down to is that they're expensive.
Yeah.
Ohotniks are interesting.
They're weird because they're good from 8 to 32 in their AP.
Yeah, and they're decent damage.
And they're on a
Yeah.
shock profile. Like scouts have shock.
Yes, they do.
So they're great mook hunters.
Damn,
Does-
14 AP
Yeah,
shock
that's good.
is a lot of things, right?
Does Pavel have one as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert though, you probably don't need AP and shock on the same dudes.
That's true.
Yeah, you can beat up Aleph with it though.
Oh.
Aleph has a lot of NWI with no shock immune.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah. It does come up. It's not super necessary. They're interesting. D-charges are super cool.
Yep.
I like the mine layer profile. Because you can create this like nested layer of, Strelok minefield, and then this guy infiltrates a little bit further than them
That's
and
fair.
puts another couple tokens down. If Rescue didn't have the
Exclusion.
exclusion zone, I would highly consider them as
Yeah, I
another
get that.
addition, because they can move up, grab a civilian, they've placed their mine, and they can book it out, right? But that exclusion zone really just makes them a worse Strelok. They also have EM mines on this profile, which is
Yeah.
weird.
I mean, I like EM mines.
EM mines
God,
are great.
I hate EM mines.
He hates receiving EM mines.
Correct.
Um,
Fascinating unit.
it's interesting. It's just in that like really 30 points. 30 points
Yeah.
is
But
a big
I,
ask.
I think
But-
that you could make the argument versus like Spetsnaz versus Scout.
Yeah.
It's possible.
If you're thinking like boarding shotgun parachutist Spetsnaz versus Scout,
Yeah.
Terrain Total also deserves a mention. There are so many missions where this
Okay.
is relevant.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Now this season, yeah, absolutely.
These are not auto includes by any stretch of the imagination, but don't forget about them. They're not horrible. They're just in that middle. They're like a Locust or some of these other models where like you take them sometimes, they do okay.
Yep. Or they die.
Or they die. Pavel is a better scout. I would
Same
consider
deal.
taking Pavel before I take a scout, but he doesn't have mine layer.
Yeah,
But-
but he's got other stuff.
And he can actually kill things in combat.
Oh,
Natural
yeah.
Born Warrior, Martial Arts 2, CC 23 is not a joke.
T2 close combat weapon.
At Fizz 13. And he's got Berserk.
Yep.
The one thing he doesn't have infiltration. He's got
you
forward deployment +8.
Ah.
So this is really your infiltrator of the faction.
Interesting.
So it's good. Just,
Yeah.
Uh,
Would you guys ever consider taking a Ratnik?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard, yeah.
They're arm 6, man.
I just always write them out. But the AP Spitfire +1 burst is nuts. Panzerfaust +1 burst. Cool. You're probably not gonna use it in active turn, but it's just nice to have.
Yep.
Flamin Spear, cool. Heavy rocket launcher +1 burst, cool. Heavy shotgun, cool. I mean, all those profiles are
AP heavy
rad.
pistol in the first one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Also relevant, right?
That's interesting.
It's a weird weapon profile. You don't see it very
Yeah.
often, but
Trench hammer makes them good at anything that needs anti-material too.
Mhm.
yes, that's relevant, actually.
So they are a tough, chunky, ass-beating unit. I like them.
Keep in mind, they are hackable.
So
Yeah.
would you take that over a Vet Kazakh?
Ooh.
That's the problem. That's my problem in every list I build is, man, I really like Vet Kazakhs. They're better. So when they've taken a damage, right, they're much better than the wounded Ratnik.
Yes.
BS12, oof. Arm 4 is okay. Move 4-2 is awful. So, and that's where 2 out of 3 of your wounds are, right? Because you've got Dogged.
I would switch the Ratnik in over like an Spetsnaz or something. That's what this would take.
Something
place
that
of
is
to me.
cool though is like, dropping that AP Spitfire into suppressive fire
Yeah.
to protect something important. you got to get through a lot of wounds at, first arm 9, then arm 7
Yeah.
before he goes away.
Right.
And he's got courage, so he's going to stand there and take it.
Yep.
If you want him to, which you do.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's why I like him though. He's tough. He is a tank. I mean,
He's the closest thing to a tag
right.
outside of Cosmoflot and their Bearpods.
Bearpods are so nasty. But that's talk for
But yeah.
another day.
Arm 6 is great. Ratniks are cool. I think they're just overshadowed. This
Yeah.
guy is just so good.
I agree.
And, he's got 2 real wounds. He doesn't get worse.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mimetism helps.
helps a lot.
That's huge.
Deactivator's cute. These guys suck at dodging. So,
Which is why I think they should be a tag. But hey,
I wouldn't mind.
they're a pro tag.
Sucking at dodging can be a pretty big deal. Someone comes around the corner with some nasty template or something, or you're just at a bad range band
Yeah,
for
someone drops a mine, can't do anything about it.
The
Yeah.
last few units we didn't really talk about too much. We didn't take in any of our lists. Dog Warriors,
Yeah.
they're just expensive.
Especially considering Antipode Assault Pack.
I don't like that if they get caught out and they get lit up by an APHMG or whatever, HMG, Spitfire, they take all those wounds at arm 1, right?
And then they transmute.
And then they transmute, and then they're already dead.
right.
So that's rough. Everything else about them is fine. Chain rifle +1 burst is great. Grenades are great. Smoke grenades are great. They also have to transform to be good at using some of those things.
Right.
And maybe your opponent doesn't shoot you.
I mean,
Right,
Fizz
like-
14 isn't bad.
For 24 points, though.
Whoa, yeah.
Right?
That
Like,
is-
if you're using them for smoke generation and your opponent's like, oh, okay, I just won't shoot you then.
it is interesting how those guys they need to be slapped to get powered up.
Yeah, they require cooperation from your opponent, and that is hard to plan on. Now, if they have a minefield, though,
True.
walk this into a mine. Suddenly you got a bear. They're shock immune.
All of a sudden, though, like if that opponent's covering the minefield,
Or you take the mine.
yeah, like
They're just weird. I don't like relying on this. And then the last model that we didn't talk about at all is Carmen Jones, mercenary biker.
Carmen Johns.
Johns.
She's not bad.
She's not bad.
She's good. I mean, I just don't care.
There are already cooler motorcycle models
Yeah, this one has a dog though.
intact. Well, yeah, but you could take a Strelok with a dog.
This one's faster though.
Okay, so
But the Strelok infiltrates. Or 4 deploys +8. But
yeah, like I don't know.
I don't know. Like, what are you
Oh
using her for?
wow, she has booty.
She does have booty.
I'm assuming that's an Infinity model. She has a booty as well.
I'm sure that she does.
Yeah.
She does have a heavy pistol with +1 burst. And after the FAQ,
She
Yeah.
kill Achilles.
she can kill Achilles. Yes, that is a true born.
Just-
Here's the thing though, her CC is actually very dangerous. Martial arts level 2, CC 22, natural born warrior,
Okay.
burst
yeah,
2.
That is fair.
At
That is fair.
17 points, and she has a dog friend that can put her at burst 3.
That is all good points.
Or she can be burst 2 with a double action close combat weapon at Fizz 13 plus martial arts, so damage 14.
Also-
That's a thing.
Also worth considering is that he's a sensor, Batard,
Yep.
Yeah.
and he's got a trench hammer, which is very cool. So a burst 2 trench hammer.
Well, he
at-
can destroy some of those objectives.
Yeah.
So at Fizz 15 double action, very cool.
He doesn't have smoke grenades, so something you do have to be careful with this unit is Carmen drives up, gets spotted by something, goes, okay, cool, smoke. If your opponent chooses just to shoot the antipode has no reaction
Yep.
and just gets shot to death. It's only 5 points. Who really cares? But it's just something to
Think about.
think about.
He cares.
Yeah,
Does
maybe.
he?
Also, he is one of the few antipode type models that doesn't have some sort of immunity.
Oh.
I mean, regular antipodes don't have it either, but like, they've got a bunch of other stuff going on for him. He's not immune to anything.
Right, well, because he's not a
He's not a dog.
he's not a
So,
dog. He's not
yeah,
a dog face guy.
He's
He's
an
just
antipode. Yeah.
Batard's just an antipode, and Carmen is just a person,
Yeah.
allegedly.
Yeah. I guess we didn't really touch on like Vasily, but like, just a tank
Vasili's
hunter.
alright. We talked about him.
We talked about him. He's a tank hunter character.
He's cool.
I like that he has decoy. I like that he has dogged.
Chain of command honestly might be solid.
It could be. It could be.
He's one of those models I always wish I had room for, but I end up.
He's in that 40-point range.
Yeah.
That's, he's close to a sixth of your army.
Yeah,
Right.
totally. And especially when you have so many great options for attack, it's easy to find ways to fill that gap.
Yeah, one of my problems with it in general is I really like Colonel Veronin.
Yep.
Because I'm a sucker for Strategos, because I don't have it in Pano.
Right.
So like, oh, I get free orders. That's dope. On my lieutenant who can also defend himself. What is this? And then I also like the Line Cossack lieutenants because
It's
they're
like
cheap.
Cossacks.
Right.
They're easily hidden,
Hideable.
easily defendable. They're fine. They do their job. And so with those two, I don't really want Vasily because my lieutenant's not fighting.
Right.
I'd rather just protect my lieutenant, and I'd rather spend 40 points protecting my lieutenant than chain of commanding.
Right.
If I'm gonna take him, I'd want to have, like you said, like a Vet Cossack lieutenant,
Yeah.
HMG, run around,
Mm-hmm.
murder whatever I see,
Yeah.
die trying. But then what? So I have a chain of command guy who's now my new lieutenant. If it's turn 2, I don't really want to Rambo
Yep.
with Vasily. Because then my turn 3 is over.
Yeah.
Right.
So now I have a 40-point chain of command guy doing what exactly? He just doesn't do it for me.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Compared
sure.
to like the 20-point chain of commands that just kind
Yeah.
of defend themselves and exist.
Yeah.
I mean, for 40 points in another faction, you're getting a heavy infantry.
Right.
Also,
Who might
too,
even have like Memtis
And chain of
-6
command
or-
plus dogged is cool.
Yeah.
Like,
especially too if he's not wild cardable like so many other chain of command models
Yep.
are.
well, he's camouflage.
Oh, great.
I mean,
You're paying 40
I
points for a
would
dude who's
say-
gonna hang out on a roof.
camouflage lieutenant.
Okay.
I think that has merit.
Yeah.
He's a forward observer, so he can be a specialist when you need him.
Okay.
Right, in those missions. Turn 3, he can do things. He can even pick on some stuff if they don't expect it.
Okay.
Surprise attack, snipe something,
That's fair. He's
drop
BS,
down.
He's BS-13,
He's
which is really
BS-13.
good. So, alright, fair enough.
There's some merit to having a camouflage, zero swick lieutenant
Yeah.
who can also fight.
Is he zero Swick, and can he be taken as lieutenant in vanilla?
That is a good question.
Because that might change up the entire way I view vanilla Ariadne as well.
But so even in like Pano, military orders has like a 50-point chain of command heavy infantry guy. It's just hard to find the points.
Yep.
When he's as expensive as your Rambo lieutenant,
So, short answer, yes.
Oh boy.
Yeah, 36 point.
I do think he probably has a better home in vanilla than he does
I get that.
in TAC.
He does.
And you know what? The Acrolot cannon is not bad either.
Mm-hmm.
It's worth mentioning.
It is worth mentioning, although it never works for me in my sample size of 2 tries.
Same game,
2 tries, same game, missed both.
but it's not bad.
It's a thing. He also has decharges,
Yeah.
which is also relevant. You know, he's a decent little, like, turn 2 or 3, go up, do a surprising amount of objectives,
Yeah, that's fair.
classifieds and or things. Remember, Chain of Command also makes you a specialist in every ITS mission.
Right.
So, he can still do those generic push-the-button things. I think he's cool. I just think when you start building lists, you run out of points for him.
Right. Exactly. He's one of those people I want to use, but then just run out of steam on because I can get something else.
You know, if it's him versus a Vet Cossack,
Right. Exactly.
who's
There's no choice.
actually 2 wounds.
Right.
You know, or 2 Strelocks.
Right.
He's cool, though. He's cool. If you like him, try him, honestly.
Yeah, I mean he's cool.
He might be up next on my painting bench now that I know he can be vanilla. Like seriously.
Yeah, no, he's awesome.
I would say like TAC is one of the few armies where like every model except for what I would say is the tractor mules and the dozer is
Yeah.
viable.
Yeah. Oh.
100%.
So like even if we're a little bit down on things like scouts or Pavel or Vasily, like
I used
honestly
to,
they're still good.
I used to swear by scouts. It's just that now I've come to light with the Stralox, but scouts are cool.
So if you like them, use them.
I mean that Ohotnik is a damage 14 AP shock weapon, which is cool.
It is, and a 0 Swick one.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
You can do some obnoxious, like multi-missile line Cossack fire teams,
Ugh.
Yeah.
and who cares? And then you have these Ohotniks as backup.
It's a cool weapon.
It is a cool weapon. I like that they changed the spelling too, this edition.
Oh yeah, to make it easier to.
Make it easier for us
Pronounce
Americans
Yeah. All right.
to pronounce. Okay, is there anything else we want to talk about tonight, or are we good to go?
I think we're good to
That's
go.
it.
We
Tac is
have
cool.
cracked open TAC in our opinion.
Well, thank you for joining us. We'll have to figure out what faction or sectorial we're doing next time.
Oh,
Any
man.
ideas?
Yeah. Oh God. I don't
What
know.
do you guys want to talk about next time?
I mean, I'll have my uninformed opinions about anything.
That's fair.
If we want to keep going, we could keep going down Ariadne and unpack Cosmo, but yeah.
I'd rather wait for the models to
Let's
exist.
fair.
bump around. I mean,
What about doing like I know you're getting started into nomads for Corregidor, right?
I'd also like to wait for the new models
For that,
okay.
for
I mean,
Corregidor as well. We could talk about Tunguska.
for sure.
That's cool.
Tunguska's cool.
We could do some sort of pano or.
I'm the Pano player.
Okay, fair enough.
No, we can talk about Pano. It's fine.
It's really easy to
Um,
talk about Pano.
I know you two both pano, so
What's there to talk about?
I don't know.
You shoot things until they're gone.
stuff. Yeah, but it's different ways of shooting.
Two Yodems
For-
list.
Ah.
Varuna is shooting their turn, and
Also our turn.
yeah,
We just burst two in your turn.
right.
I really think that like in general, like Ariadne has some of the most dynamic sectorial lists.
How about this?
Yeah.
How about this? We do something weird. JSA.
Okay, I'm in.
Oh fuck me.
I'm
Okay.
in. I'm down.
All right.
Hopefully, I'll have my models here by then.
So for the uninitiated, none of us know JSA. I've played against them once in a tournament. I lost. That was a great game, but I lost. I learned nothing. And that was N3. I learned that Karakuri are super weird, and they're totally even weirder now.
Yep.
But Bruce here has decided to get into JSA. So
Like
maybe
a fool.
like the fool that he is. So I think let's challenge ourselves.
I like
yeah,
this.
yeah.
I like this a lot.
So next time we'll talk about JSA. So thanks for joining us, and until next time.
Bye.